The oldest job in this world is not a prostitute or a trollop. The oldest job in this world has got to be the pimp. The pimp is the government, and the government had bestowed terrible power at the feet of women. The man has been subjugated by the government. The government is now the pimp, and this government is instructing these women to be wayward, unjust, and totally unfair to men. The reason why I say this is because when I used to work in a certain job, I'm not going to tell you what job it was, there were many women at my workplace, and I had no problem with women. And there were many men that used to complain about their marital affairs. And I didn't understand. I thought marriage was a place of refuge, a place of togetherness. Men that I knew that were ruffians at their early days were now kept men. Basically, they were mimes. They couldn't say boo to their wives. They were being controlled. They were being pimped. I found it surprising that most married men, hardly ever have sex with their wives. Many men have told me they don't even get kisses from their wives. They don't get kisses from their wives. And one particular day at this job, I was working a late shift. It was myself, a male, and 3 females. So this guy is a lovely guy. It was a lovely guy, Doug. He was saying how he's just having marital problems at home. Like his wife, she doesn't listen to him. She doesn't really respect him. And on top of that, she doesn't ever give him any sex. I immediately told this guy, you need to leave her. You need to get rid of her. The women that we were with protested, saying what I was saying was barbaric. And I said, what do you mean? We've sat here in this office for the past 10 minutes. This man has been crying out his eyes, telling you the problem he's going through with his missus. And you women are telling me not to tell this guy to get himself a floozy. This guy's being pimped. He's being treated like a whore with no benefits. He's coming here just like us, working while his wife's at home looking after the children. And when he gets back, not a kiss, not a hug, not a blowjob. I said to the ladies, do you starve your men from enjoying the passions of your body? They all said no. They all told me that they were all freaks. We're talking about women at the age of 35 to 52. A range of these ages. And they were basically telling me like they are sex mad women. And they were mocking this man. They were laughing at him. Laughing at his situation. And I responded to the women. I said, you women are bastards. You women are totally out of order. You are even laughing at him while he's telling us his problems. You don't ration your vagina to your husband or your partners. And yet, you support this woman, his wife, rationing herself to him. And you're saying he can't leave her because of the children. What part of equality is this, where men are mocked? Another incident at that workplace. If I ever, as a man, ever made any sexual connotation, any sort of sexual pass at any of the women there, my ass would be sacked. I remember one time in the briefing room, I wanted to put my jacket up. I think I wanted to take it off, I can't remember. And there were a few men sitting around and a few women. So I didn't want to do it in front of a woman's face because they were sat there and the jacket hook was behind them. So I had to sort of stretch and reach. So one of the gentlemen said to me, don't put your groin in my face. And as soon as he said that, an older woman, a woman in her 50s said, sir, you can put your groin in my face anytime. I paused and I looked around. And everyone heard it. This wasn't a whisper. This was a bold statement. Sir, you can put your groin in my face anytime. I've had many women sexually getting off looking at me. Many women doing these things. And I know many women do it to lots of men out there as well. But what has happened is society has been flipped over. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, if you stand for justice, you've got to stand for it in its totality. You do not let yourself be pimped, and you do not be a pimp. You do not let yourself be taken advantage of by any man, and you do not let yourself be taken advantage of by any woman. You do not do it, because what you're doing is enabling bad behavior. And once you enable bad behavior, society's gone. I have a lot of female friends. I speak to them regularly. And it seems to me that these women are loving it. They are sick with power. Stupid power, because a lot of them are going to be spinsters. They are. Lots of men are pulling out of this whole relationship madness. This relationship fiasco has got to go. No forward-thinking man is going to tolerate any rubbish from a man and letting on a woman. A lot of my male friends are suffering, and I know that we females are suffering as well. But what I'm trying to say is that men's voices are not championed, and there's got to be a reason why. Men are being silenced. They're being bullied. They're being marginalized. And men don't even stick up for themselves. How do you explain this? You ask an average woman, what are the origins of the feminine movement? If you've known sufferation from a man, if you've known abuse from a man, how then could you put that same abuse onto a man? How then could you stand for injustice? How then can you use and abuse? How then can you manipulate by ways of fake eyelashes, fake hair, tight trousers, tight shorts, enticing? And then when you hit the age of 30, you start getting desperate. You start getting desperate. And when you get that bun in the oven, you give this man his marching orders. Why? Because the patriarchy, the state, the pimp, is pimping your ass. And you are in turn loving the benefits and thinking that the party's gonna last forever. Guess what? You didn't take into consideration that most men are going to realize this and run a mile. You didn't take into consideration that you are not intellectually smart. You didn't take into consideration that just because you have a degree doesn't mean that you are nothing more than a scrot. You didn't take into consideration that men eventually will get tired of your ass and either run away, become gay, or just totally not even respond to you women. And what's going to happen to the future generation? The same answer you get from one of these women when you ask them, what are the origins of the feminine movement? It's the same answer you're going to get from the question I just put. What's going to happen for the future generation? They don't know, and they really don't care.